Screen printing embroidery is done in-house and we guarantee customer satisfaction. Stop by, give us a call, or check us out on the web at shoplts.com. Remember the name, LTS.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala!
All right, just about 20 minutes after 9 o'clock, beautiful Monday morning. You do not need to be a psychic to predict the future of America. You just need to look at the youth of America, and that's how you'll know what the future looks like. And I hope the youth looks like our next guest. He is a young man who introduced himself to us maybe about a month ago or so. He is bright, articulate, and the whole world lies ahead of him. And if he represents the youth of this country, then I don't have anything to worry about. Brandon is an aspirational storyteller, recognized as one of the top 300 public speakers in the world. He's the vice president of education for Daybreak Toastmasters International. I know he was involved with something that Manal Fakori put on not too long ago. He's the president of Missions in Management and an author. And the part of this that I don't know what the heck I'm saying is this. He's going to talk about the HHACZ of life. Brandon Gosselin, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, Larry. I've been really good, really good. How you doing?
Good to see you. Are you from Oklahoma originally?
Yes, sir. I am from Oklahoma.
Do you still live there?
No, I kind of live there, but I go to school in Tennessee at the same time.
Oh, okay.
So I'm
okay.
kind of back and forth.
How are you in Ocala?
I actually had an internship this summer with a lady named Robin Thompson.
Oh, okay.
And she's a fantastic individual. She's one of the top speakers in the nation in how to flip houses, and she's actually here in Ocala. So she's an amazing lady, and she really helped me out with my future plans.
Part of your story that you shared with us when you first came in to visit was the fact that you had a horrible accident and you recovered from it in spite of what doctors thought you were going to do.
Yes, sir.
Are you more driven because of that accident, or were you this driven when you were 15, 16 years old?
I've always had a certain drive in me ever since I was little, but after the accident, I realized that my life was spared because I was pronounced dead at the scene of my accident. And I realized that my life was spared and that I need to do whatever I could in my power to find out why I was saved. Because we all have a purpose in life. We just have to find out what that is.
Yeah, it's not always easy to find out what it is.
Yes, sir.
So how did you find out what your purpose is?
Trial and error, and more trial and error, and just going after it. Because one of the things I share with my audiences whenever I'm speaking to them is anyone can set the bar here and hit every single time. But it's the people who shoot for the stars that change the world. Because if you shoot for the stars and you miss, that's okay because you're in the universe. You're outside.
But do you shoot for the stars for yourself, or do you shoot for the stars for others?
I shoot for the stars for myself and others. Actually, I just recently got back from a mission trip in Haiti, and I just got a new revelation, and something that I'm shooting for the stars for. I just developed a 3 to 4, actually in the process of developing a 3 to 4 step plan to implement into the Haitian community that's going to revitalize the economy from a third world status to a self-sustaining economy, which can be implemented within the next 10 to 15 years. And it's actually very simple, it's very basic, but it's going to empower the Haitians. Not only that, but it's going to give them more pride about their country and how to not only overcome their obstacles, but how to really hone in on their natural resources.
Really? And does that have anything to do with money? Is money an important element in trying to bring somebody up that's not up, somebody who's down?
Yes, sir. I did the mission trip with a program called Live Beyond, and Dr. Vanderpool, who is in charge of the program, he estimates around a $10 million increase in funds in the Haitian community could really be the tipping point of going from third world status to a Haitian community. And the program that I have set in place is going to create a real export besides viruses like Zika, have the first export for Haitian communities.
Okay, so that sounds reasonable to me. So far, it sounds like what you're saying is give them a way to be self-sufficient by creating a product or a service that they export.
Yes, not only that, there's also a program in place to clean the streets of Haiti, because an important theory to remember is called the broken window theory, which pretty much states that something that is broken is going to continue to be broken by the average individual. And it's not until you fix that broken thing that's going to improve the process.
And the God is a very integral part of your process also.
God is the only reason I'm here today. I was told that I will never be able to compete on the athleticism level that I was in high school. I should postpone my academic endeavors because it'd be too much for me. But through God, I'm able to now be a college athlete, and I'm going to graduate with a 4.0 GPA in university honors, and then go
Wow.
on to get my
Good for
doctorate
you.
in psychology.
Good for you. Yeah, there are.
Congratulations.
I mean, we meet motivational speakers, inspirational speakers all the time, and some of them have God in their message, and others don't. And I want to ask you one thing: you don't consider yourself motivational or inspirational, even though you are, but you actually call yourself aspirational.
Yes, sir.
Explain that choice of words.
Definitely, because motivation, one of my mentors, Frank McKinney, told me that motivation is momentary. It'll last a couple hours, maybe a day if you're lucky. Inspiration is temporary, and it can last a couple days, and if you're really lucky, a week. But aspiration is perpetual. You always aspire to be something greater. You always aspire to be something greater than yourself, and you may come down at points, but you always aspire to be something great. So I want to motivate and inspire my audience, but more importantly, I want to push them to aspire to be something greater and help them realize who they truly are.
HHAC lowercase z. Explain that.
Yes, sir. That is the 4 core pillars of a lot of my messages that I give to my audiences, and that's humility, hard work, affirmation, and comfort zones, a little z.
Okay.
And you utilize these 4 cores in your life, and you implement them into your life to overcome any obstacle, challenge that you may face in life. I actually have 57 lessons underneath those 4 cores. That's actually going to be in one of my books that I'm actually working on. But that is really what I've been working on, is really honing in on those and really making them where anyone can apply them to their lives to overcome anything.
An unborn chick in an egg is in his comfort zone, but his life doesn't really begin till he breaks out of that egg. Is that part of your comfort zone theory?
I've not heard it in that way before, but you see, comfort zones is believed to be a safe haven. But comfort zones is actually a prison, because
it holds you back.
That's hold you back. That's right, because it's not until you get out of your comfort zone
Right.
that you're really able to obtain what you're supposed to obtain in life.
Yes, I think that's very smart. Very smart. And how do you do that? Because breaking through your comfort zone is often scary and sometimes risky, right? So how do you do that? How do you do? And how do you know? I mean, how do you know that? Because a lot of us in the course of our lives have said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to quit my job and do this. Well, you're breaking out of your comfort zone, and then sometimes you regret it. So does regret play a role, do you think, in success?
I mean, you can always regret anything that you want in life, but life is a lot about perception and how you perceive things. You can always say, oh, I'm going to regret that, but just do it. One of the greatest things that you can do is you can do anything you set your mind to. We've all heard that ever since we were little. Because one of the messages I share with my audiences is our greatest challenge in life is not that we're inadequate. It's not that we lack a certain skill or ability to be successful at something. Our greatest challenge in life is that we're more powerful beyond measure. But at some points, we forget that power that lies within us. And whenever you're trying to overcome your comfort zones, you have to remember that power. And you have to go back to that power, because there's going to be times where you think you may regret the decision, but just go for it. Because we have to understand that we're all trying to get out of our comfort zones. We all have obstacles, and we all have challenges. And whenever we understand that we're not the only ones in the situation that we're at, then we feel more part of the community. And through that community, we can build strength, and we can get affirmation. And affirmation is one of the core pillars that I refer to, because affirmation is what affirms you, reaffirms you, and confirms you in who you are. And not only that, but what you're going to do and what can you accomplish.
And because of your age and because you are such a good speaker and a good mentor, you really relate to the young people.
Yes, I think one of the hardest things that I see with motivational, inspirational speakers is they're fantastic, but they're in their 40s and their 50s, and they have a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge. But it's kind of hard to relate to teenagers or millennials my age. We're like, we don't want to hear from someone who thinks they know it all. We want someone who's going to be on our level, someone who's been through things that we can possibly relate to, maybe not, but to understand that they've gone through struggles. But how did they overcome that? What I like to do is I like to set myself on the level of my audiences. If I am speaking to some junior hires, I want to act on junior high level. I want to dress like the junior hires. Like whenever I was at the Fakora Youth Leadership Conference, I dressed like a teenager. I had a little bow tie, trying to be all spiffy and whatnot. But then I went and spoke at the Ocala Reentry Center here in Ocala, and spoke to about 100 prison men there, and that was an experience in itself, because I went in there dressed casually like they dress casually, and it was a hard audience because it's difficult to talk to an audience that they're grown men, and their initial thoughts are, what's this young pup going to try to teach me?
Well, and yeah, I see what you're saying, and that's really bold of you to do that kind of a thing. But I think, do you remember the comedian Red Skelton? Or was he before your time?
Before my time.
Well, anyway, he was a popular comedian, and one of the things he would say at the end of his shows, he had a TV show, was, if I have made one person laugh, then I've done my job. Mm-hmm. So if you go to that prison or to any place, and there's one person that you have inspired to do something about their life that makes it better, that they weren't going to do before they heard you, then you've done your job.
Yes.
And you're probably doing it right now with several people listening right now.
Well, I really hope that my story does help a lot of people. And actually, with the prison I went to, I went and a lot of people were being disrespectful. Like, oh man, what's this guy can teach us? Really trying to speak over me whenever I was speaking.
Yeah, right.
But I didn't want to settle for that. I continued to speak to him, and I continued on and on. And go ahead. Sorry.
Well, we're just running out of time. That's that music. You are very impressive, Brandon Gosselin. Do you have a website before we say goodbye, real quick?
I'm actually in the process of developing my website right now, but you can find me on Facebook. In the search engine on Facebook, just type in The Aspirational Storyteller, and it'll take you right to my Facebook page.
Okay, Brandon, good luck with everything you're doing. We'll be right back.
Outside of Fort Myers, Florida nightclub.
We need more units in the park wire.
Police audio from Broadcastify. 2 people dead, more than a dozen hurt at a teen party. 3 people are being held. Bernie Sanders speaks tonight, the first night of the Democratic convention.
If there are fireworks this week here in Philly, they could come from his support.